Welcome. Digital signal processing. In this particular topic, we need to talk about little bit about digital signal processing system, A to D conversion, Nyquist-Shannon sampling theorem, which is very important, aliasing, an effect which happens due to poor sampling rate, sampling effect in time domain, frequency domain, anti-aliasing filter, undersampling, oversampling, and D to A conversion. So talking about analog versus digital signal processing, you can understand in analog signal processing, you have an analog signal input and an analog signal output. But when you look at digital signal processing, you capture analog signal, you can understand when you take an analog signal, it is a function of time because the signal is a continuous signal. Then you convert from analog to digital, you get discrete time signal, and then you process the discrete time signal, and after the processing you get back to analog signal again by converting the digital to analog signal, and ultimately you get back your analog output. So typical digital signal processing system happens to be like this. You have an input signal which is an analog signal, you apply analog filter. Why? Because you need to filter out certain frequency, undesired frequency. And then when you have filtered, you basically have a band limited signal. Why band limited? Because you really remove certain frequency band and certain frequency band is allowed, so it is a band limited signal. Convert that band limited signal into digital, you get a discrete time signal, and the digital signal you pass it into digital signal processor, then you're processing the signal. After that you convert that digital signal into analog signal, you get an output, reconstruction filter, you get back your analog output. So in the process what you see, A to D converter and D to A converter. So in the entire process you have the same concept here, it's going one after the other, you're converting. So analog to digital conversion, most signals in practical interest are analog in nature, like voice, video, radar signal, transducer signal, biomedical signal. But since we want to process and get some facts out of the signal, we need to convert that analog signal into digital, and this process is called A to D conversion. And in A to D conversion, what happens is that you have an analog signal input, there is a sample and hold circuit. The understanding is that when you are getting an analog signal, it's a function of time and you chop it. You create actually sample. That sample actually is a function of n because number of samples, x of n, it's actually a discrete time signal. Then you quantize to get a discrete value signal, and ultimately SQ of n is a quantized signal, and then finally you have a coding to convert that quantized level into corresponding zeros and ones. Alright, so this is how it happens, and you can understand the sampling. You are actually converting the continuous time, continuous value signal to discrete time, continuous value. That means sampling output is a discrete time, but the value is continuous. Quantization, conversion of discrete time, continuous value to discrete time, discrete value signal. And finally coding, you convert a discrete time, discrete value signal to an efficient digital data format. So A to D conversion, you have a sample and hold circuit sampler. It's actually sampled, and then each sample actually is converted into a corresponding value. So it is impossible to digitize an infinite number, so you have to have a sampling, and that's where actually your Shannon theorem comes in. And let's take a look. Sample and hold your original signal, and then you took very less sample, you took a little bit more sample, and you took really big number of samples. But the question is, what is the correct sampling rate? That is actually governed by your Nyquist criteria. We are going to see that in a couple of minutes. So basically you have this signal, you can understand that this is a continuous time signal, and then we took sample at t, 2t, 3t, 4t, and so on, where actually this 6 is actually n, so you can understand, and this t is the sampling interval. So sampling interval is 1 over the sampling frequency. Alright, so when you do quantize, you get actually voltage level at the power of 2, and ultimately Nyquist-Shannon theorem is sampling theorem talks about how you can take a sample in such a way that you have no noise in the ultimate output signal. So the criteria is that you have to sample at least twice as large as the highest frequency component in the analog signal. That means f of s, the sampling frequency, should be greater than or equal to twice of f of max. Alright, so this is actually the sampling criteria, and we can get the sampling interval calculated based on the sampling frequency. And these are examples, you can actually follow it very nicely. And you have take a look at it. Shannon's theorem is a very important theorem, sampling theorem. So you can actually take a look at this exercise. Aliasing happens because your sample, you took less sample and it produces a noise at the output. So you can understand that some of the principal facts lies with aliasing, that you have to have a minimum sampling rate is not respected. So distortion, that means if you are not sampling your signal considering the Nyquist criteria, then there is a distortion in the signal which is called aliasing, and aliasing causes high frequency signals to appear as low frequency signal. You can understand a very high frequency signal, but it will be considered like a low frequency signal because of less number of samples. You can understand that is very easily here from this picture. These are sampling, but if you take a less number of samples, it looks like a low frequency signal, you see. So you can understand that a high frequency signal gets converted into 10 hertz because of less number of samples, and aliasing happens. So sampling effect in the time domain, it happens like this. In the time and frequency domain, you can understand that frequency domain there is a single spectrum, and you basically have different types of spectrums here. Take a look, and practically this is very interesting topic. Why you do anti-aliasing filter? Because I don't want alias to happen. So I actually remove the frequency. Signal with no frequency component above a certain maximum frequency is known as band, fine. But sometimes high frequency components are added to the analog signal, and we want to actually, keep this signal band limited. That means we need a filter, usually a low pass filter, that stops all frequency above half of the sampling frequency, and it's called anti-aliasing filter. So this is very important. And undersampling happens, you can understand if you are taking the sample less than the Nyquist criteria, and it happens to be like this. You can, and oversampling also happens, like you are doing too much of sample, and you can see. So these are some of the exercises you need to follow. And A to D conversion, you have already seen the quantizer. Quantization is the process to reduce infinite information of amplitude. Quantizer, what it does, do the conversion of discrete time continuous value signal into discrete time discrete value signal, and the value is at the level of 2. So you can understand the level is 2 to the power of n, and n is the number of levels of the quantizers. So you can look at it as a 4-bit quantizer. You can understand the quantization introduces a noise we sometimes call quantization noise, right? So quantization error caused by representing a continuous value by a finite set of discrete value, and the large number of quantization level, the smaller the quantization error, but it is expensive, as you know. So practically this is all about the basic understanding. And take a look at SNR also, signal to noise ratio, A to D conversion, analog to digital conversion, and it is a very important kind of ADC, 2-bit flash A to D converter circuit. You can have a look at it, the zero crossing and other things, D to A conversion. So enjoy this discussion, because this is something very, very interesting, and we take a look at the second one also.